the entire hood's gonna fly up in your head, you know? So if this was attached to a car, I would have put a lot of downward pressure on, keeping that same 10-degree kind of pitch on it, really to get much more leverage in there. That's why I had to work this area much longer than I would usually have to, even though it has 400 grit sanding marks in it, is because I couldn't put the amount of pressure on that I wanted to because this whole hood would have flipped up in my face.
That would have been funny though, that on camera. That would have been hilarious.
So
that's video gold.
You want to see some white slurry go down? 400. Don't put this on camera.
No, we need this on camera. This is good. So you would actually sand with 400 in certain instances?
Yeah, only if we have lots of clear. If I absolutely had to. I think I've only had to pull out the 400 maybe on a major run at a body shop.
Oh, not like tons of orange peel?
Yeah. Well, on certain cases you could, but again, this is like...
Well, wouldn't a body shop, because they're going to generally use like solvent-based clear, aren't they going to have less orange peel than?
No, it's actually the opposite. These high-end urethanes actually are very peely by nature because they're so thick in viscosity. So it's actually opposite. Now, if you were to go old school and do lacquer, it's very thin in viscosity, and you put 20, 30 coats like they used to do back in the day on the hot rods and the pebble cars, pre-base coat, clear coat, and that's hence the term color sanding came from, because you're actually sanding color.
Go over the guide code?
Yeah, we can do that. We can guide code it.
So that's 400.
So this is dry guide coat. This actually is used in the body shop for primer purposes, and my good friend Adam Kraus came up with this method. It's basically, it highlights the scratches. So now, slightly wipe it off. Now we'll do some 600.
If Jason's working that low in grip most of the time, guide code's a big part of it.
You'll be able to see real quick what it does. It just gives you a visual to not over sand, to sand just enough.
So guide coat is after the first sanding?
Yeah, it sticks to the sand scratch.
Oh, so now you know with your 600 grit if you're getting out all of the 400 grit.
Exactly.
So we have to go what, 4, 6,000, 1,500?
Yeah, 4, 6,000 or 4, 6, 8,000, 15, 2, 3, 5,000 if you want, just to refine it to the absolute level of refinement where some of these paint jobs, if you look at a piece of glass, is actually more reflective and straighter than a piece of flat glass. So wipe it off here.
So how would you manage an entire panel?
Just by doing small sections like this, and then trying to blend to the next section. It is certainly a different type of.
Because what we've been working on is scratch removal, right, or scratch improvement.
This would be
whole
complete orange peel removal.
Yeah. But it would be orange peel removal on a newly painted car with 8 coats of clear coat.
Yeah, and good body work and prep and all that. So if you can see, I don't have any white. I'm starting to get a couple of white strays.
Yeah.
That's still a 400 grit scratch left. So it's just a good visual of what to do.
So then would you guide coat 600 again?
Yes, you would guide coat 6 and then do 1,000, and then guide coat 15, and then you can really, it's so refined at that point, you can buff out a 2000 grit scratch, so I don't really add any more per se. And with that LED light, you can actually, as the polish where it becomes transparent, where you can actually see through it, you can actually start to see through the white slurry of the guide coat in the clear and actually see if your scratches are all gone. So I'm just kind of going over this whole area just to feel and hear.
If you listen real close now, you could actually hear the difference between where he hits a patch of 4 and when he's going over
Hear how the sound.
And then
a section that's
One of the
totally
things-
flush with 6.
one of the things I'm terrible with is the sandpaper grip. Like, how effective is the sandpaper grip from the time you started now, Jason?
It's not very effective, but right now I kind of want that because we're not really, we've already flattened it completely. So we don't really need.
Really? So you'd need a new piece of paper to do this next section over here?
Yeah.
Just
That-
that small of an area?
Yeah, sandpaper, depending on the paint, if it's soft clear, it clogs it up really good. If it's hard clear, or OEM clear, it does tend to clog up fairly quick. So your paper tends to not last nearly as long.
So shoot, you'd have a darn couple of grand in paper to do a whole car.
Yep. Yep. You figure probably to do a whole car per grit, 30 to 50 full sheets.
Yeah.
You can do it with less. I just, my time is worth a lot. So if I use paper, I can help, speed that process up and give a little better look.
So this process, although we're yanking through the vast majority of the clear, will
Not
orange
necessarily.
peel reduce it?
Not necessarily. Let's get the gauge.
Honestly, I want to see you go through. I want to see how long it would take to go through. Like, people are.
Oh, it's not that hard.
People are going to wonder how long it's going to take because I'm seeing that. I'm like, how is he not through yet?
Because I'm making every pass count.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting pressure. I'm literally floating the block on the surface.
When we did a body shop last time in Miami with a bunch of custom painters, they were sanding with 400 grit on OEM Mercedes, and they didn't pop through. Yeah.
What's it showing?
106.
106 and 108.
And what is it on a panel that
like 116.
you didn't
98
sand?
inch.
So you took off like 6 mils, 8 mils.
Microns, not mils.
Yeah, sorry, microns.
We learned that 25 microns is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're getting low, but it's consistent.
There's no one dip anywhere, right? Because
Not a major spike because I also don't start directly in the middle.
Yeah.
I always start from a quadrant, work my way, block it out evenly across the surface. And you can see the colors consistent. Now there is some white trails right there, so there are some leftover 400 grit scratches. So now let's ditch this piece. No, I didn't guide coat it. So now I'm just going surely on feel and sound. I can literally close my eyes or talk to you, not even look at the panel, and know exactly where I'm at. See, hear the sound? Go on. Matt,
Isn't
go
that
ahead.
just water? You're going backwards though.
It's fine.
Well, he's a lefty.
Right.
So move it and up and down.
Seattle to
Seattle,
Miami.
yeah.
All right, this way.
Feel the difference there?
Yeah, I can't freaking do it. I can't keep it flat.
It's hard with the pressure.
And my tendency is to want to jump around all over the place.
Yeah, that is the natural tendency. And you have to stay laser focused, because if you don't, you end up going like this, especially when you do it for 10 hours straight.
I'm already tired and we've been doing it for 30 seconds.
Yeah, the tendency is to move around, but you want to stay in an area until the resistance has become noticeably less in your fingertips and with your ears.
Yeah, I don't like this. I can't do it.
Keep going.
There's like an inconsistency of the grabbiness, so I have to learn how to manage that.
Yeah. So again, it's a lot like a suspension on your GT3, where it progressively adjusts as you're going around the corner. Similar thing to your hand. You need to be able to adjust the pressure and the speed and arm speed and movement of the block to compensate for the grippiness and the angles.
All right, I'm doing less pressure than before.
Less pressure than before.
Let that block do the work.
Let the block do the work. Contact patch. You hear the sound back there?
Yeah.
Okay, move forward because you were already standing back there.
I have no idea what my count is. I'm just moving.
That's all right.
Go by feel.
You'll know when it's black.
Oh, you pop girl.
Let's wipe it off and see what it looks like.
There's gonna be holes in it.
Nope.
No, you would see it.
I would seriously doubt it.
What is this? 1500?
Pretty consistent. See the color here? See the color difference right here? Could you visually see that?
Yeah, but doesn't it look like I have deeper?
A little bit. It's not too. You would be surprised that it's going to buff out a lot better. You want to do this, or you want me to finish it off?
No, I like watching you do it much more.
Okay. So I'll 15 this, and then I'll 3000 it. And then we'll be able to visually see how flat it is without buffing. See how it caught? The most frustrating thing is when it wants to grab. It drives me nuts, and I've been doing it for a long time.
Because when it grabs, it wants to come up on edge.
Yep, exactly. Okay, now we'll get some 3000. So I'll just do some 3.
And then 50% deposit before production, and 50%.
And again, doing 3000 is more consistent, I think, than just buffing alone.
Rates with your chipper.
Doesn't create heat, doesn't, create movement. You don't have that sheer movement of the buffing pad.
So you'll still use the same thing to compound it. You just won't have to go over as much.
I won't have to go over as much as hard.
We're full disclosure when it comes to kind of like, this is what you see and what you get for those prices. So you start at 12, end at 10 for retail.
But sometimes when you do a hot rod, we'll do a quick buff at 15 just to get it somewhat shiny, to see if we have to go back and get peel out. But again, this is This is not even the 1% of cars out there. So this is the process. Hence why hundreds and hundreds of thousands and thousands of hours go into a show car, whether it's Pebble Beach or Riddler or something of that nature. The Super Bowls of each segment.
So but you would go down all the way down to 600?
Yeah, typically, yeah, 6. 6 really seems to get the flatness of.
PO2 is going to be very, very popular because of its versatility.
Because it's a lot like working wood. You're not going to sand a piece of fine furniture with a clunky soft pad. If you want it flat, you're going to have to cut it flat. Or a CNC machine, you're not going to have that cutting bit at an angle and the machine head, the spindle wobble. You're not going to get a clear, finish, clean cut. So if you're to look at an angle, you can actually see the reflection of the light bulbs and how much clarity they have already. If I come back here, Matt, and I look, if you bounce up and down, old Anthony doesn't move.
So what does that tell me?
That means it's flat, there's no peel.
Oh, okay.
And our lowest number was 98, I believe, 96, maybe 92, 92, 80, so that's low right there. So we're fairly low. See how it jumped from 88 to 106? So that could mean a couple of things. Just that we sanded in this quadrant a little bit more than we should have. So that's why it's really, really important to pay attention to location where you're at. So we don't try to take off more material than is needed to get the job done. '88, 88.
So we've removed somewhere around 20
Yeah.
20 microns.
Yeah. So we're fairly low. We're really low.
So let's say we had 30,
Yeah.
or 32.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've removed 2/3 of it.
Yeah. Not. This is again. To do this process normally, we would have more material to work with. We would never ever do this, but this is the process that we use when we do a show car.
Right.
So we'll do a couple passes with.
Because a show car is going to have 250.
Oh, or more,
Yeah.
more. So I mean, you're looking at, we're looking at, 5, 6, 7 coats of clear at say 1.5 mils of thickness per coat. So we're looking at 8 to 10 mils of clear,
Right.
as opposed to 1 or 1.5, maybe 2. So we're gonna use some M101.
So this is going to remove another couple of microns.
Yeah, maybe. Again, it all depends on the paint. We're just about done compounding here. crystal clear that light is.
I feel like some of the pitting's gone too. Some of it.
Yeah, it diminished a little bit.
You know, and this is why people get so excited to do this, because
Yeah, it's quite a gratifying process.
Yeah.
If you look here, Matt, with your camera, and you come back here, you can see the light reflection is not as crisp.
yep.
And again, to stress, I would never, ever, ever do that on an OEM car. Not even close.
You just can't, right? Because
No.
now this is going to last.
Who
you know.
knows how long?
Right.
Probably not very long.
Right.
We still have, the rotary swirls and things like that.
Right.
But that was an exercise. It's a little warm, a little warmer than I like. But that was an exercise in control. Control.
Yep.
And surely only in control. What if you're in control and you know what the products can do, you can really go outside the box. And if you have a little scratch or something, you can go after it. Again, I would never go anything lower than 1,500
On a hood, like on a normal car like this.
on a normal car, and
Yeah.
that's pushing the limits too, because of the UV protection.
I mean, we saw on this scratch we're talking about here.
Yeah,
You know, your tendency is going to want to go after that scratch
exactly.
and take it out, and you just can't.
No, it's not wise. It's
Yeah.
really not wise, unless there's a scenario that the customer wants to go to the body shop, and he's like, if you go through, you go through. But if you can save me, 2 months, 6 months down the road without going to the body shop, what can we do? So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
would be the only scenario, but very clear, and even possibly a waiver to catch you, let you off the hook if something does go wrong. Because I've been there, I've done that. I've been the hero and I've been the zero. So it's never a good feeling. You get a pit in your stomach, and it's all she wrote. So it's part of the deal.
This is for orange peel removal?
No, this is for dirt nibs,
Oh, yeah.
runs, sags, that sort of thing. So I take one side of the blade and I deburr or I hone it. And then I'll use this side. So then I'll bend the blade up.
Hopefully, so you don't get the corners digging. Right?
Or you can tape it too. And see, this blade is not. It's really digging in. I'll show you what a burn through looks like, because it just went through. You see the slight black right there? That's what a burn looks like. So we're right. There's not much material on this section left. Would it give you, again, 6 months protection if customer wanted to wait to paint it? There'd have to be some clear expectations, but know that when you go this aggressively, that's what can happen. Not just with the blade, but compounding, polishing. I mean, I've done cars where I've seen, and I've done it, where just take a little bit of finish polish and you get that result. So.
Because what happens when the force pulls you back, your foot naturally comes off the gas. You have to keep your foot to the floor.